Okay, so this is our review of for the final exam, and this chart is available in class, or you can just make your own. We're going to review all the body systems, and this is on my YouTube channel, so like and comment. Subscribe and like, and leave me a comment. Only positive comments, though, right? And no, actually, tell me if there's things that I can do to improve. And so I took the names of the systems off the chart so that you would have to think a little bit about identifying what system was being referred to by the illustration. So the first one's pretty obvious, the digestive system, because that's what we've been just studying. We just quizzed on Friday. And so I'm going to switch colors because I've been informed that orange is annoying. So, God, do I have to just do plain black? Can I do...
Yes.
How about dark purple? There we go. Orange is annoying? I don't think orange...
Orange is a good color.
Oh, orange is like the forgotten color. I've only met like 2 people in my life that their favorite color was orange.
My brother loves orange. He's obsessed with it.
Okay, see? Orange should not be, put down so much. Okay. So, what are the structures of the digestive tract? We've got a couple of names for them. We can call them the alimentary canal or the GI tract, right? So, we won't be able to list them exhaustively, but if we go in order, esophagus, stomach, small and large intestines, but then let's not forget the liver and the pancreas. I think you get the idea. Function of the digestive system, in a nutshell. Okay, so to break down then absorb nutrients, and lastly, to eliminate waste. So food has to be processed, and you have digestive enzymes all along the way, stomach and small intestine, that are going to break down complex food molecules into the simple building blocks, and it's those simple building blocks that then get absorbed through the wall of the small intestine. Role in homeostasis. Well, we need those nutrients in order for our cells to get the energy that they need. So I'm going to go simple here, nutrient absorption for cellular metabolism. So cells can't do what they need to do without the necessary nutrients, the building block molecules. A cell can't make a protein if it doesn't have the amino acids. Where does it get the amino acids? From the blood supply. Where does the blood supply get the amino acids? It gets it from the digestive system and absorption. Okay. Next system there, what do you see? Yeah, it's the heart. So, ooh, I'll do this one in red, like blood. So, this is going to be the cardiovascular. Cardio for heart, vascular referring to the blood vessels. It's also got another name, circulatory. So know that those two terms are interchangeable. Structures. What do we have? Well, obviously the heart. What else? Arteries and veins. And let's not forget capillaries. So, function. Transport. Of blood throughout the body. The way I like to think of the role of homeostasis is I look back and I think, well, what would happen to the body if this system stopped working? You know, how would the body go out of homeostasis without this system? So without the circulatory system, our cells would become deprived of nutrients. Our cells would become deprived of oxygen. Toxic chemicals would build up in our cells. So its role in homeostasis is to supply the cells with what they need and to take away what the cells don't need anymore, what the cells want to get rid of. Okay? And I'll include cells and tissues. With needed nutrients and removal of waste. Lungs. What system? Respiratory. Structures? Lungs. How do we get the air into the lungs? So nose, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and the actual organ where exchange occurs, alveoli. So on your final exam, I would recommend that you know the passageway of air flowing through, how gas exchange occurs, why you have these different structures, why are they each important, why do you have a nose? Oh, let's not forget the epiglottis. That's kind of important too. That little handy flap of skin that comes down over the opening of the trachea so that you keep food from going down your windpipe into your lungs and choking you. So, function of the respiratory system. 2 words. I'll say 3 words. Gas transport and exchange. Okay? Gas transport and exchange. So you've got to find a way to get oxygen into the blood, and what gets removed from the blood? CO2 removed. So remember we had internal respiration and external respiration? And then there's ventilation. When people say breathing, They think it's this all-encompassing thing. It isn't. Breathing is really better termed ventilation, the movement of air in and out. Then we have gas exchange at the alveolar level, and that's external respiration. And then internal respiration is actually not involving the respiratory system at all. It's the exchange between the capillary beds and the tissues, and so that involves the circulatory system. And never to be confused with cellular respiration, which is the breakdown of sugars in the mitochondria using oxygen. So know the different types of respirations and the difference between those. The next system here, we're going to spend time talking about this one today. What's this next system? Urinary. Ooh, I'm going to make it yellow, but then you won't be able to read it. Can you read it? Why am I making it yellow? But should your urine be yellow? No. If you're drinking enough water, it should be nearly clear. That's how you know you're drinking enough water. If you've got bright yellow urine, that means, you're a little bit dehydrated. Your urine's too concentrated. Okay. As a little bit of a preview for our urinary system, what are the main organs of the urinary system? Kidneys. And then the tubes that lead down from the kidneys are the ureters. Then we have the urinary bladder. And lastly, the urethra. And the urethra is just the little tube that gets your urine out of your body. So at this level, like as far as organs, very simple. This is the simplest system I think we're probably looking at as far as naming the organs. We'll go into a little bit more detail on the structure of the kidney when I talk to you guys about the urinary system in a little while. Function. Okay, the function of the urinary system is to maintain fluid balance. And removal of waste products and I don't want to say toxins from your blood because really that's the job of the liver. Removal of waste from the bloodstream. What do they call it if your kidneys stop working and you have to go and have your blood artificially cleaned? Dialysis. And they literally take your blood, run it through a machine that does a diffusion and osmosis process. And cleans the blood. All right, so urinary system. We're going to spend a lot more time talking about the urinary system in a few minutes, and I'll put that up on YouTube as well. Okay, the second page, this should go to, and it's not, I'm going to go to my next, there's 2 pages to this document, so I'm going to scroll to the next page, which is the other side, and I really want to, oh, I forgot that one. Can't forget that one. I didn't see it on the bottom of the page. Okay, so that's a really hard little, this top picture up here, it's hard to see what it is. Does anybody want to venture a guess?
The immune, the lymph and
Yeah, lymphatic and immune. Because that's a white blood cell reaching out and engulfing some bacterial cells. So, lymph and immune. And these two systems get put together very often because the lymphatic system carries the immune system. And so that's why they put them together. So the structures are going to be the lymphatic vessels. Remember, the lymphatic system is just a one-way system that runs from your capillary beds alongside your veins and returns the fluid that has drained out of your bloodstream and returns it back into the circulatory system. So I'll put lymph down as a structure. And then we don't want to forget the cells of the immune system. So those would be the white blood cells. The job of the lymphatic system and the immune system is to fight infection, to defend the body from pathogens. I think I forgot something though as far as a structure. What did I leave off? Lymph nodes, good. If I leave off anything, please tell me. Okay, this next system we're going to be really, really brief on because it's from first semester, but we don't want to forget about it. What is this next one? Skeletal. And this is going to be our bones and our ligaments. And we can also throw in there cartilage on the ends of our bones. And for our function for the skeletal system, it's going to be to provide the body with structure, support, protect vital organs, but let's not forget mineral storage, and it acts as a system of levers, so we've got movement. So we can move in a much more sophisticated way. Without our skeletal system, we would move like an amoeba, like a blob. An amoeba. Okay, next system there. What's that represent? Muscular. We're almost done. Muscular system, so obviously our muscles and tendons that connect muscles to bones. So what process have we learned about this semester? Well, actually two processes that we've learned about that really, really, really rely heavily on the muscular system. Breathing. Good. So without the muscles of the muscular system enlarging the size of our thoracic cavity, we would not be able to create that negative pressure difference, which makes air rush into our lungs and inflate our lungs. That wouldn't happen if we didn't have muscles. Okay? What's another system that we've talked about this semester? Oh, I can actually think of two more now. What? Nothing? Okay. Digestive. Why digestive? Okay, digestive because of peristalsis. So digestion, I should write digestion, not digestive. Digestion. So if we think about the muscular system in terms of what we've talked about this semester, then it becomes a bit more relevant. First semester, what kind of muscle did we mostly focus on? There's 3 types of muscle. What type did we focus on in first semester? Skeletal muscle. So skeletal muscle is primarily responsible for movement. And that's what we spent most of our attention on in first semester. But now, second semester, we've focused on what muscle type? One that's under involuntary control. Smooth muscle, good. Smooth muscle. So smooth muscle is responsible for breathing and digestion. So breathing and digestion are influenced directly by smooth muscle contractions. There's one more system, though, that we've talked about this semester that is like wouldn't even be happening without a muscle. Cardiac. So we've got the circulatory and cardiac muscle. So, you know, when I say, well, what's the most important body system? A lot of times, you know, everyone's like, oh, nervous system for sure, right? Without the brain and but really, if you have a muscular system disease and your brain is sending out signals, but your muscles stop working properly, you die. Okay, and that's like MS, where your muscles stop working, or Lou Gehrig's disease. Because without muscles being able to contract and do what they're supposed to do, you do not survive. Kind of hard to maintain homeostasis. All right, next system. What do we see there? That's the nervous system. And so for the nervous system, we've got the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves, the peripheral nerves that run throughout the entire body. And for function, we've got coordination and control of all body systems. But is your nervous system the only system that is responsible for coordination and control and regulation? What's the other body system that is responsible for coordinating and controlling and regulating body systems? Which one? Not cardiovascular. Besides the nervous system, which one has a regulatory function? It has a master gland. And what? Endocrine. So if they're both responsible for coordination and control, how are they different? They're different by the way in which they do that coordination and control. The nervous system is going to coordinate and control the body through sending out electrical impulses and through chemicals called neurotransmitters that excite neurons. How quickly does your nervous system respond? Very quickly. It's very quick to respond, and it gives short-term responses. We're going to compare that now with the next system, which you can't see yet, but you're going to see it in a second. I'll scroll down, and we'll finish off our last 3 systems. Okay, so I'm going to skip down to, I'm going to skip that one there, the endocrine system. And I'm gonna skip the the integumentary system, and I'm going to go here to the endocrine system. Because this is our other regulatory And the organs of the endocrine system are going to be your endocrine glands and the hormones that are produced. What system does the endocrine system work really, really closely with? There's two I can think of. Well, the reproductive system is definitely influenced by the endocrine system. I would agree with that. But which system stimulates the endocrine system? Think of where's your master gland located? In the brain. So when I say master gland, I'm talking about the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland sits right below the hypothalamus. And nerves from the hypothalamus run directly into the posterior pituitary. And those nerves directly stimulate the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland, being the master gland, sends out hormones that then stimulate other endocrine glands. So I would say that when you talk about, how closely related some systems are to each other, the endocrine gland and the nervous system are very, very closely intertwined. But then once the hormones are released, how do the hormones get around your body? What carries the hormones? The blood. So without a bloodstream and a heart pumping and circulating those hormones, they would never reach their target organs. So function, again, coordination. Again, I apologize for my bad penmanship. Okay, very slow and long-lasting. So when you think of a reflex, that's the nervous system. That's a quick, very short-term response. But when you think of puberty, that's an endocrine process, and that takes years, and it's a very slow. It doesn't happen to you overnight. All right, let's backtrack a teeny bit and just not forget the skin, the integumentary system. And this is going to be including the skin, the hair, and the nails. When we talked about the endocrine system this semester, when we talked about the immune system this semester, we mentioned the skin again. Why? I heard you, because it's the first line of defense, right? The very first thing that a pathogen would encounter. So, first line of defense, it's our main protection. Protection from pathogens. Does it do anything else? Vitamin D synthesis with ultraviolet light. Does that sound vaguely familiar? That's why we need, good 15 minutes of sunshine a day. That's one of the concerns with why, like how little kids are spending more and more time inside. Not only the obesity, but the fact that without having that UV exposure, you're not making the vitamin D that you need. So they started fortifying milk with vitamin D. But if kids don't have good nutrition and they're not drinking milk, which it's questionable whether you should drink milk at all. We've talked about that in here. But, you know, you're not getting that. So they really basically say everybody is deficient in vitamin D. And vitamin D is so important for a healthy immune system. So you can't build good white blood cells without those vitamins and coenzymes. You can't fight off infections. You can't fight off cancer. You can't have healthy, strong bones. You need vitamin D and calcium for that, too. All right, so vitamin D synthesis, calcium storage. You need calcium for muscle contractions. And so if you don't get enough calcium through your diet, your bones will actually, your body will leach calcium out of your bones, putting it back into your circulatory system so it can get back to your muscles. So too little calcium and you'll have your heart muscle will stop. Too much calcium and your heart muscle will stop. Last but not least, reproductive system. This is the only system that you can live without. Yeah, you can live without a reproductive system. You can be, as long as you have a way to urinate, and that's more specifically for a man, you know, the urethra passes through the penis. So if a man has a functioning urethra, you can live without testicles, without ovaries, without a uterus, without any of it. You can have it taken out later in life and be just fine. And sometimes they take it out to save your life, right? So this is the other system, the only system that shows in humans sexual dimorphism, where male genitalia is different from female genitalia. The rest of our bodies look the same when we're born, except for the genitals. And then through the endocrine process of puberty, we develop what's called secondary sex characteristics, where a woman's body feminizes and a man's body masculinizes. But you're born with genitals, and those change too. So we're going to say, we're just going to be here, male and female reproductive organs. So ovaries, testes, uterus, vagina, penis, and all the other accessory structures. Why do we have to have a reproductive system? There's only one reason. Yes, continuation of the species. Passing on our DNA. And in terms of biology, that's how you're biologically successful. You can be a success in business, a success in the stock market, a success in whatever career you choose, but you haven't been biologically successful until you passed on your DNA. So that is your 45-minute, 34 minutes here on my timer, but very quick summary of all the body systems. And with the exception of the questions that are more specific about the respiratory, the digestive, and the urinary systems, okay, those questions are going to be more specific. Any questions that I ask you about on any of the other body systems would be general enough that you would be able to get them off of this chart. Okay? So I'm envisioning maybe a matching question where you have names of systems, structures, and functions. And this is your little treat for coming here on a Saturday. You're hearing this. And if nobody else watches this video, they're not going to know that. So if I gave you 11, 12, 15 matching type questions on system structures and functions, you guys are going to knock it out of the park. Because you came on a Saturday. And all the people that didn't come and RSVP'd and didn't come, your name is mud. But I'm going to send out a reminder and tell everybody that I put this video up. And then if they listen to the whole thing and get to the very end, they'll hear that. Okay? They have to suffer through me. So please subscribe to my channel. I want more than 86 followers. I have 86 right now. I have more than 86 students. So until next time, thanks guys.